Read everything, listen to everybody, believe nothing unless you can prove it with your own research. Bo Cooper. Yeah, a little blip there with the intro. That's okay. I really wanted to do this video, and I also didn't, and just had to get it out there. So I know a lot of people watch Matt from Quantum Conscious, but I have to let people know of certain things. No one else is going to want to do it. I'm telling you, people who are liked on the internet, people who are considered the truther of truthers, etc., etc., people will defend them by droves. They have their own literal armies. You can't converse with them. I would love to talk with Matt, whatever his last name is, Quantum of Conscious. He doesn't leave any information to contact him. I don't think he even responds to comments anymore. And like access is limited, but people love his channels. He also said of things, you have to distrust large channels or something similar to that. His video, as of this time, he's got like 52.9 thousand subscribers. He's got 11,544 views and 128 comments. There's this video description, which was a few minutes ago, which I'm going to show you, and you've got the link where you can verify it yourself. And we're going to play it back, not just at the point where I leave it at, but I'm going to give it more context so we can see what he's talking about. I know he's mostly just saying, don't trust this, don't do your own research because you don't know how to do your own research, and the system has set it up so if you do your own research, you research what they have. So tell us how you do your research, man. Okay, so donations again, the whole thing. Get Bitcoin, Vertcoin about 16 months now, not 15, but at least over 15. No one's donated. People have donated via Google Chat, but Google gets big chunks. So PayPal me if you want to do that. Full disclosure, first video of the month, which will be tomorrow. I'm going to show you how much I got for the month of September and in total. And thank you to everyone say my thank yous to everyone who's ever donated. So there's that, and again, you can check via Bitcoin by just going and putting in a blockchain explorer my Bitcoin address and my Vertcoin address, and that's how you can see I've got 0. And the donations that I've gotten were actually from me, from Patreon, and then sending it to Susie Dawson. You can verify that yourself as well. Okay, so now here we go. I watched this, I still have him subscribed. I don't necessarily like some of the things he says, not because I don't want to go there. Heck, I'll go anywhere. I don't like what he says because he's being a hypocrite. He's doing the same things the system does where he goes against the system. And here's the main point.
So I don't say do your own research. I say the opposite. Trust this channel.
So we're going to play that back a few times at the 14-minute mark and 4 seconds of the YouTube video. All I did was type one word, GRETA.
So I don't say do your own research. I say the opposite. Trust this channel.
All right, but let's give it more context. I will be stoic in saying this. Always do your own research. If you don't think you've got the results that you think is correct, then talk with people and ask them how they do their research. Learn from it. Learn how to find certain things where you could look. Bill Cooper says it best. Just read everything, listen to everybody, but just don't believe anything until you do your own research. And basically, who is saying something different, and who is it that's saying something different? Maybe for me, it'd be like, how accessible are you to having a conversation with that person who's saying something? If you hear someone say something from CNN, MSNBC, etc., mainstream, do you think they're gonna just say, "Hey, I've been researching this, and may I have a few minutes of your time?" And see if you can even get an email or a contact number or whatever, right? If there's none of that, be a little bit wary, I would say. Same thing with anyone who's in the alternative media, who's talking a lot of stuff, have their own opinions, say they do their own research, and they don't share their research or their sources, which I do at least. So being stoic and adamant about, look, if I want to share something with you, I want you to be able to see what I'm looking at and how I'm formulating my thoughts and conclusions, and whether you come up with the same with doing your own research. And then you can always come on, and I always usually give, unless I'm actually wanting something presented, then I hold people until the end where we can talk about it. But the Zoom meeting information, you can call in, all of that, that's always there. So, what's important is actually getting together with other people and sharing notes and talking about these things and where you found them and all of this stuff. And people say, "Oh, no, don't worry, I've got a secret source, but it's reliable." The same problems we have with our current system, our current government, and things like that. So, anyways, I'm gonna go back to 2 minutes before he said that, and we'll see if there's context to it.
A friend or a family member about something to do with 9/11, for example, and they have the cognitive dissonance sets in, and they go to try to debunk you, and they immediately go to the web, and the web is set up to bring back all the debunking websites at the top of the search results. So immediately, back in the day, 2007, 2009, 2010, the Popular Mechanics article about 9/11, that comes up first. It proves all the conspiracy theorists are completely out of their minds. Metabunk and that monster Mick West will come up showing all of these conspiracy theorists are out of their minds. So the person says, "Well, I did my own research." This happened to me. Somebody came back to me and said, "Well, I did my own research, and I found there are really convincing or really well-written, intelligent articles that explain away everything you presented. Matt, there's an explanation for everything you presented because I researched it myself." Well, that's exactly why they plant those websites at the top of all the search results. Because we've all been told, Glenn Beck has been telling us, and all these frauds have been telling us for a long time, to do your own research. We've been conditioned to think that's a good thing. When you hear somebody say, "Don't trust me, do your own research," I haven't said that for a long time, because that's them or the system telling you to go do your own research, and then the system will have their own websites, their own shill websites at the top of all the search results, so you do your own research and just have yourself convinced that what the system is saying is true, because they know research is going to be nothing other than the web. Do your own research. Nobody's going to go to a library or anything. So I don't say do your own research. I say the opposite. Trust this channel. I do the research. I look into things. I mull things over for days and weeks and look at things in different angles. And many of you, still have the matrix job, and you have kids, and I don't have that. And I have more time to think this stuff through. And I don't have all the conclusions, but I say don't do your own research. Come to me. I'll say the opposite. Anybody that says do your own research hasn't thought it through, because that just leads you to system sources of research. Where am I going to do my own research? Anderson Cooper's 360. Where am I going to do my own research? Following Don Lemon around, Peachtree Street, drunk, looking for men in Atlanta. I mean, where am I gonna do my own research? You can't. Here's where your own research is: inner knowing. Your own research is your inner tuning fork. What does your gut say? The term gut feeling comes from a reason. I mean, that term exists for a reason. Gut feeling. It's understanding where or knowledge that comes from something other than the brain, the frontal lobes, the brainwashed mind, the part of the mind that's put into the box.
Anyways, so again, I would say, look, most of the stuff he's stating is true. But then, like, we would, maybe someone like me, if I'm talking to him, I'd go, look, so how do you do your research? I mean, it's not hard for other people to do their own research, is it? I mean, where do you get your information from? I just got a gut instinct. I got, these feelings. It's like, well, how do you get other people to have these feelings? Is this just something you just got and it grew? What is it? How do you make it so? How do you get it to, your 52,000, almost 53,000 subscribers, and maybe a quarter of that will watch your videos? Like, how do you get them to get that gut feeling? If it's like get that understanding, get that knowledge. If it comes, if that term gut feeling comes from a reason, obviously it's been around for a long time, and so you're just picked out of nowhere to have that gut feeling, and so we only come to you to figure it out because you do their own research because of the gut feelings that you got, and all of this. Look, this is something that no person who's looking for the truth will ever tell anybody. They'll never say, look, come to me. I did the research. I did all of that. Don't do your own research. You're just going to mess it up. And we're in this predicament because of that same saying that the system puts out. What was that MSNBC or CNN fella is like, you can't read WikiLeaks. It's illegal. You have to come to us for us to read you what's in WikiLeaks and stuff like that. You're going to see that all in the mainstream. And that Matt is touting that, hey, don't do your research. You're going to do it wrong. And I tell people how I do my research. I research the official narrative. I'll go to Google, which everyone mostly uses, right? I want to find stuff that's either .gov or .edu that talks about, say something, proof Earth is a globe, right? And I'll go there. Who figured out the Earth is round? That's one that I mentioned quite a lot. And this is on NASA.gov. It's a government site. So now we've got something authentically, or not authentically, what is considered the authority, right? If it's been proven and it's in all our classes in the government and public schools and touted all over on news channels, the government, the politicians will always speak that the Earth is round. They'll make fun of the flat earthers and all of this stuff. Well, we've got it here that this is what the government says. This is it. This is how who figured out the Earth is round. This is the top resource where you're going to get if you're looking at it. Maybe you'll even see Noah, and they're probably going to spout the same thing. And, it all goes to the ancient Greeks, Pythagoras, and we're going to go more over Pythagoras in a long time. And I even show you, okay, what was probably one of the most highly regarded scientists most famous scientists in the 20th century. That would be Carl Sagan, Cosmos. you know, right now, his replacement pretty much has been Neil deGrasse Tyson. And, you know, if you watch the Carl Sagan segment that I already had, Carl Sagan says, yeah, the one who first proposed the earth was round was Pythagoras sometime around 500 BC. You can see that video in the about 7 minutes. The answer you can't question, which is flat earth. Or globe earth, actually. That's the answer. Globe earth. And you can't question it. Okay, and so that's kind of how I do it. And, you know, I think it's important. Maybe I'll just go over that really quick. Okay, while this is playing, while you're listening.
So I don't say do your own research. I say the opposite. Trust this channel. I do the research. I look into things. I mull things over for days and weeks and look at things in different angles. And many of you, you know, still have the matrix job and you have kids, and I don't have that. And I have more time to think this stuff through. And I don't have all the conclusions, but I say don't do your own research. Come to me. I'll say the opposite. Anybody that says do your own research hasn't thought it through, because
All right. I don't know how much I could listen to that. View on YouTube. Let's go. Can't be kidding me. All right, let's go here. Okay. I should go into my other one, which is 1440p. Who cares? You guys are watching in 1080 anyway. All right, so you know, here's Carl Sagan's.
Pythagoras seems to have been the first person in the history of the world to decide that the Earth was a sphere. Perhaps he argued by analogy with the moon or the sun. Maybe he noticed the curved shadow of the Earth on the moon during a lunar eclipse. Or maybe he recognized that when ships leave Samos, their masts disappear last.
So that's the snippet of Cosmos, and we all know now. And of course, that's something that the government will tell you. That's the authorities that you would regard in high esteem. And again, there's no proof. There's no observations. All the observations have been pretty much bunk, and they keep adding in more stuff saying, hey, no, this, that, whatever. All right. And then Neil deGrasse Tyson, who has, he did his own version of Cosmos. It's following Carl Sagan. And there's stories of Carl Sagan, and the meeting of Carl Sagan with Neil deGrasse Tyson, where he gave him a lift to like to school and gave him a book or something. You know, it was like, really? That's just weird. And he was just 17 from the Bronx, and Sagan invited him to spend the Saturday with him in Ithaca at Cornell University, and all this other stuff. But like, you can read all of that. That's there. And then you can see Neil deGrasse Tyson, new cosmos, because there was a new cosmos that was created. Space-time honesty. Well, he takes a new TV generation on tour through the wonders of the known and unknown universe 34 after Carl Sagan's award-winning series. I was excited for it. You know, that was before I was like where I am now. And again, mostly cartoons and history and things like that, which, you know, that's good. Where do you find out? Where do I find out most of the stuff that's just weird, right? Well, I just watch and listen to what they say. That's my research. And people like always go, look, Felix Baumgartner proved that the Earth was round. Just look at the videos and pictures. Well, then you've got Neil deGrasse Tyson
if the moon is
saying no. Wide angle lenses curve horizontal lines. So no Earth curvature for Felix at 3 times an airplane's altitude. All right. And look, this is Felix Baumgartner, 127,520 feet. And then maybe we'll go into and we'll look at NASA Earth curvature. There's a little like a ship, I guess. Height. So here's one thing that I just like to show people. It's there. It's out in the open. Even if they even the stuff the system puts out, put it at the top. You just can see the hypocrisy. That's research. It's simple. I'm showing you how you do it. And look, so this article, and I've shown before, solo science flying at 65,000 feet. So it talks about Stu Brose. This article is by Ellen Gray, Namibia, September 12, 2016. You know, there's this new high altitude ER2 research aircraft. You can see, and he goes, Stu Brose loves flying high. Quote, the view is incredible. You can see 300 miles away, unquote, he said from the cockpit of NASA's high altitude ER2 research aircraft. Quote, you can see the curvature of the Earth. If you look up, the sky is very dark blue, unquote. Now, they even say it's 65,000 feet. Well, if you can't even see the curvature of the Earth, and Neil deGrasse Tyson is telling you that at 127,520 feet, which is almost twice that height of 65,000 feet, well, you've got yourself a predicament. Well, which is it? Can you see the curvature of the Earth? Is Neil deGrasse Tyson lying? What's this stuff with the cosmos? What's going on? You're going to be confused, but right there, they can't get their story straight. And of course, we see with Neil deGrasse Tyson, after all this is said and done, the backlash with what's happening with the globe Earth being questioned. You've got him being touted as being a sexual predator or something like that, right? You can even look that up. Neil deGrasse Tyson scandal. After misconduct, section like New York Times, March 15, 2019. Maybe you prefer mainstream article, but that's what I would like to show people. Look at the mainstream. Look at the top results. You know, well, sometimes you can't. You have to pay money to it. Psh, whatever. Like rape accusations, right? Sexual misconduct. When did that happen? Oh, it's stupid. Anyways, yeah, I mean, that's just been kind of recent, right? It wasn't a long time ago. But you know what's also most recent? People questioning the shape of the Earth. And how do we question it? We just look at the mainstream. And this is another thing. What's mainstream? Like, I'm a big science guy. I still am, even with all the things wrong with scientism and things like that, or people just believe without even repeating the science experiments, which is what it's supposed to do. And so I was like looking, you know, PBS Genius by Stephen Hawking, episode 6, where you can't even watch on YouTube. PBS, public broadcasting station, formed in the United States, exists in the United States, paid for by the people of the United States. And you can't watch a video that has 3.8 million views from August 23rd, 2016, which you were able to watch it before. You know, it's blocked in my country, in the United States, on copyright grounds. How? You can go to Canada. You can watch in Canada. You can watch in the UK. You can watch probably anywhere except the United States. Everywhere where they don't pay for it at all. And you can even see more of my videos on this, which I did a little experiment, a little test, right? Can I watch it on, if I'm VPN'd into Canada, if I'm VPN'd, right? It's really simple. Where is it? I had to upload it because if I go to a different VPN, it's going to restart my connection. But basically, right? I'm VPN'd into the United States. I disconnect. I go into Canada. Right? What are the results? Right? It's where is it? And here I am. Connect. Come on. All right. So that's fine. You see that I can see it when I'm connected to Canada, and here before I was connected to the US, just like I am now. I'm in the US, and yeah, it's blocked. Makes no sense, right? Anyways, research. That's how to do your own research. I'm showing you how. That's just one way. There's other ways to do it. There's plenty of ways, but basically, do not take the control of what you are experiencing and what you are fed into the hands of someone else. Not in the mainstream, not in some alt person, not in some hypocrite who will tell you, hey.
Research. I say the opposite. Trust this channel. I do the research. I look into things. I mull things over for days and weeks and look at things in different angles. And many of you, still have the matrix job and you have kids, and I don't have that. And I have more time to think this stuff through. And I don't have all the conclusions, but I say don't do your own research. Come to me. I'll say the opposite.
Yeah. So again, I would say do your own research, read everything, listen to everybody, watch everybody. Just don't believe anything until you do your own research. Have reasoning behind whether or not you think something is true, or maybe it just appears to be true, but you're not sure. And make sure you allow yourself that ability to have doubts. Right? If someone's telling you, hey, you shouldn't have any doubts about this, zero, you should have doubts about it. There should always be some reservation. Nothing should be 100%. Some things, even in your own experience, you're just like, yeah, I'm 100% sure. Me, I make sure to leave that 1% of doubt, just that 1%, because there's always that chance. And do your own research. Don't leave what your thoughts and your experiences and what could be in the hands of someone else. Don't leave the control of your own thoughts and actions and ideas in the hands of someone else or some other organization, some form. Always be free to have that and use that yourself. Everyone's created equally. We have some things that are different. We have some things out of our control from as far as our station, things like that. But you know what? We all have the same abilities available to us. And I'll just leave it at that. So that's all I wanted to say. Just be aware of these people that you like. Just listen to them. Don't just brush it aside. They're saying these things over and over. We see it time and time again. We have to be stoic in the things that we do. Okay. Good night.